No body equals no experience. Remember the rhetorical question, if a tree falls in the forest and there is no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? In other words, does the world exist on its own independent of my senses? I happen to be one of those people who like to argue against popular beliefs. I say the tree falling in the forest cannot make a sound unless there is someone or something present to experience the vibration. It is my own nervous system that creates the experience. Next topic, the center of the universe. Astronomers are now searching for the center of the universe, the point of origin from which the universe grew to its present size. More likely, it will turn out to be a black hole that will slowly draw the universe back into itself, only to explode once more. The importance of religious rituals. Religious rituals arise out of human need. The no meat on Friday rule for Catholics probably began as a protection against spoiled meat. Unclean pork infected with trichinosis worms was a threat until people learned to cook the meat thoroughly to kill the worms and the eggs. Meat was dried to prevent bacterial rotting in the absence of refrigeration. The Buddhist practice of avoiding meat is simply a way to ease the burden on the digestive system and to respect the rudimentary consciousness of other organisms that have a right to life. Religious rituals are repeated motions, words, or songs. We use them to bolster our fragile egos and to request favors from our higher self, which is God. The most fragile egos are often the most devout because ego itself is fear. Behind many religious rituals lies the fear of the unknown, the desire for power, and the hope for a reward. Rituals create the illusion of security, and for many people, the weekly or daily service and the worship of holy objects allows the ego, which is a sensation of individual existence, to survive and carry on. Next topic, religion and entheogens. Entheogens are chemical compounds found in plants that change our view of the world. They are generally not addictive and often trigger profound changes in thinking and behavior. Traditionally, shamans use entheogens to induce visions in themselves and in their clients, to reaffirm the presence of God within. For the explorers and adventurers, the repeated rituals and exaggerated claims of institutionalized religion only leads to boredom and disappointment. The endless prayers, sermons, baptisms, Bible classes, and worship of long-ago people doesn't do anything. Life remains the same whether you participate or not. The mystery of God, the self, and the world always remains beyond the reach of science and religion. At this point, a taste of the forbidden fruit offers a brief venture into the unknown. According to millions of people, peyote, magic mushrooms, and LSD provide an experience that goes far beyond anything offered by the church. Despite their differences, entheogens and religion share a common goal: to awaken the individual to the presence of God. For many people, a compelling religious experience can change forever a person's beliefs. Of course, you can alter reality by drinking alcohol, but there is no comparison between getting intoxicated on Colt 45 and seeing God. In fact, many people give up drinking alcohol after such an experience. For centuries, religious authorities have denounced entheogen experiences as dangerous drug-induced hallucinations. Christian scholars argue that prayer and the Eucharist in the Mass is the correct way taught by Jesus to receive God. As a former Catholic and a participant in the sacrament of Holy Communion for 20 years, I can assure you there is no comparison. Swallowing a wafer of white flour and pretending it is the body of Jesus is what we do, but it doesn't demolish the ego. The strongest argument against entheogens is the casual use by people who are ill-equipped to handle the dramatic changes in perception. Thanks to public education, most of us have no idea of the nature of perception. When it begins to change, it can shock the ego or the social self into a violent contraction called an anxiety attack. In my case, it allowed me to see that I am creating my own reality. At the same time, I did not know how I did this or how to control it. The use of entheogens is risky for people who are having difficulty adapting to the human form. The casual and irresponsible use of peyote, mushrooms, and LSD in combination with other substances like alcohol has triggered deaths and injuries, hence the laws against them. Recently, the Justice Minister of Amsterdam, a city well known for its liberal drug policy, called for an end to the sale of fresh magic mushrooms after reports of over 100 deaths, mostly British tourists. The hallucinogenic Salvia divinorum plant is also facing banishment because of its emerging popularity. LSD, peyote, and magic mushrooms already reside in Schedule 1 next to heroin. Given the government's hostility toward altered states, we can expect Congress, the Justice Department, and their enforcers, the DEA, to continue to add more plants and compounds to the long list of forbidden substances as soon as they become popular. The prohibition of entheogens. Nearly all governments on this planet have outlawed entheogens, and for a good reason. They are dangerous and can cause injury or death if used in an irresponsible manner. In pre-Columbian Mexico and South America, Christian and Islamic missionaries believed peyote and hallucinogenic mushrooms contained devils that possessed its users. When the church and government officials conquered native cultures, they outlawed them and punished those who used them, sometimes with torture and death. Next topic, why I believe that humanity invented God. Number one reason, God is a male and nature is a female. Number 2, he never laughs. Number 3, his projects fail. Number 4, he becomes angry and depressed. Number 5, he is a multiple personality. And number 6, he orders us to love him and threatens eternal damnation if we do not. The safest course is to treat the description of God as a human invention. If you take the description too seriously, you may begin to exhibit signs of schizophrenia, a split personality. This is what almost happened to me. So why did I need to believe in God in the beginning? Number 1, to gain control of my world. Number 2, to ease the frustration of not knowing who I am. And number 3, to cope with fear. And what was the cure? The cure was stop trying to control the world around me. Number 2, accept not knowing who I am. And number 3, face my fears. And the results are that the world goes on without me, I become a mystery, and my fear changes to personal power. A species that refuses to accept responsibility for its own actions but chooses instead to worship and obey ghosts that arise from within will find no peace.